In our last episode, we fully explored NCR and got to know President Tandy. There we discovered no fewer than 3 ways to get the location of Vault 13. The easiest and cheapest way was to buy some information off of Merc in the bazaar for $50. He just so happened to have a holotape pointing us to the location of Vault 13, which he sold to us for a cool $1,000. After marking the location on our Pip-Boy, we find Vault 13 to the northwest of the New California Republic. Heading there in our highwayman, sure enough, we find a cave entrance. But as we delve deeper into the cave, wait a minute, what's this? No Vault 13 door? Caution, construction zone. What? Merc's directions were fake. This isn't Vault 13. This is some other vault that was under construction by Vault Tech when the bombs dropped. There's nothing here. And sure enough, when we get back to the world map, we see that this is the fake Vault 13. If we head back to NCR to give Merc a piece of our mind, we find an option to say, hey, that map was fake. That map didn't pan out, says Merc. Sorry. The guy swore it was genuine. How was I supposed to know? I don't know where Vault 13 is. Well, what about the money I gave you, we can say? Like I said, says Mark, sorry it didn't pan out for you. Our only options are to leave frustrated or to say, well, how about you eat this bullet for my trouble? In which case he turns hostile and we have to fight him. So, I was wrong. There weren't 3 ways to get the location of Vault 13. There were only 2. But President Tandy gave us an intriguing mission to head to Vault 15. We recall, after talking with the people at Vault City, Vault 15 was an ideal location to explore to find the real location of Vault 13. Now, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, complete President Tandy's quest, and hopefully find the real location to Vault 13. We find Vault 15 just a few hexes east of NCR, which should be familiar. It's in about the same spot that it was in relation to Shady Sands during the events of Fallout 1. We arrive at the squat. President Tandy told us that there were a bunch of squatters just outside Vault 15 that wouldn't let them in. Moving forward, we see one of these squatters, lying down. Guess anytime's a good time for a nap. Trying to talk to him. Sorry, stranger, he says. I don't have time to chat with you. Well, wait a minute, we can ask. Why won't you talk to me? And he says, we're a very private community here, and we don't want any trouble or interference from outside sources. Please, just leave us be. Okay, we can say. Enjoy your nap. Instead, we'll talk with this woman standing off to the right. Hi, she says. I'm Rebecca. Can we talk privately, please? What do you want to talk to me about, we can say. And she whispers, my daughter is missing, and I need help finding her. I can't talk about it here, though. Can we go someplace private? Why the need for privacy, we can ask. And she says, you may think I'm crazy, but I get the feeling I'm being watched all the time. It's rather disturbing, and I'm a bit on edge because of it. All right, we can say. Where can we go to talk? Thanks, she says. We can go to my tent. We appear inside her tent. We should be able to talk here, she says. Great, but I've got some questions for you first, we can say. What do you want to know, she says. What's going on around here, we can ask. We call this place the Squat, she says, because it was settled by the homeless of many cities. It's not much, but it's all we have. To the west is a city called NCR. They've known about us for quite some time and never offered us any kind of help or hindrance. Now, they are suddenly claiming the area as their ancestral home, and they want it back. They keep sending people here to try to talk us out of our home, but they don't understand that we have nowhere else to go. We don't have the skills necessary to survive on our own if we leave here. What is here that they want so badly, we can ask? Well, she says, there's a vault here. I think it's number 15. They want to loot it for any of the old technology that might still be there. Oh, we can say, well, that explains a lot. You've been very helpful. Well, who's in charge around here? And she says, that would be Zeke. He runs everything up here. You can find him in the building over there. And she points northeast. Well, I'm looking for Vault 13, we can ask. Do you know anything about it? I'm sorry, she says. I have no idea. I would ask about it in NCR. They've taken a great interest in vaults lately. All right, we can say, well, tell me about this vault, Vault 15. Well, she says, we're not supposed to talk about it, but since I need your help, the vault is being repaired by Darian. He's our benefactor. When it's fully functional, we're all supposed to move in, where we'll be safe from raiders, slavers, and such. So far, he has the food and water systems up, but that's about it. You know, she continues, it's kind of funny that they managed to get something that complex fixed, but not the lights. The damn place is lit by torches. Anyway, Darian doesn't want anyone to know what's going on with the vault. He's afraid that someone will take it all away from us if they find out. So we're told to drive off anyone who shows up here, especially the NCR. So that explains why NCR hasn't been able to make any headway over here. The squatters have been sending them away under orders by this Darian. Can you tell me about Darian? We can ask. There's not much to say, really, she says. Darian keeps to himself and never leaves the vault. If he has anything to say, he says it through Zeke. I've only met him once, and he seemed like a nice guy. Nice guys finish last, says the chosen one. I wonder what he's up to. Well, thanks, Rebecca. Let's talk about your problem now, we can say. I have a daughter named Chrissy who's a bit of a tomboy, she says. She likes to run around, explore, and pretty much stick her nose into things. Chrissy's a good kid, though. She doesn't cause trouble. She's always home on time, and she's shown herself to be a very responsible young lady. I let her do as she pleases most of the time. Last week, Chrissy didn't come home. I asked around, and nobody's seen or heard from her. I tried to find her myself, but Zeke, he's sort of the mayor around here, he stopped me. He said it wasn't safe for me to go out looking for my own. He'd have some of his men do it, but they couldn't find her either, and said that maybe the slavers got her. I can't explain why, she continues, but I don't believe the slavers took her. I have an uneasy feeling that something else is going on. And then there's this feeling that I'm being followed. I've had it ever since I talked to Zeke about Chrissy. I need someone to help me find my daughter. Will you help me, please? Well, if I help you, we can say, what's in it for me? Well, I have nothing to give you other than my undying gratitude, she says. If we say, it'll take more than that to buy my help, the conversation ends. So instead we can say, yes, I'll help you. Thank you so much, she says. I'll never be able to repay you for this. I'll wait here until you bring... Hey, there was someone outside listening to us. I saw their shadow on the tent wall. They just ran off that way, and she points to the northeast. They must have heard everything. They won't stop me from finding your daughter, we can say. So someone was eavesdropping. We'll track whomever it was down in just a minute. First, we can talk to some of the locals around here, but none of them are willing to talk. Sorry, stranger, I don't have time to chat with you. Please don't bother me. I'm really busy right now. There are a number of tents out here, but they're all disappointing. These two are empty. The nearby shack is a bathroom. It also is empty. And the tents to the east are empty. Moving northeast, we see a building. This must be where Zeke is. And standing by a road blocking an exit grid is a woman. Hi, she says. I'm Dahlia. What can I help you with? Did you see someone go by here in a hurry, we can ask? I see people go by here every day, she says. I really don't pay much attention to them. Look, we can say, a young girl's life is at stake here. The daughter of a worried mother. Can you please help me out? And she says, I don't give a rat's ass. I'm sorry. I'm just a gun who was hired to stand here and guard this trail. Other than that, I don't know what's going on around here. I had a daughter once, though. And yeah, some guy went by here. I let him through because he knew the proper sign, just like the sign you gave me. Go on, I'm out of here. Thanks, we can say. I won't forget this, Dahlia. And with that, she runs off and no longer blocks our path. Before we travel down this path, we can head to the house to try and talk to this Zeke, whom we find standing inside. My name's Zeke, stranger, he says. I'm sorry, but I don't have time to talk to you, and I don't think there's anything in this town for you anyway. You should move on. I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, we can say. Well, he says, I think you'll find that we're all out of answers here. Why don't you come back when we get a shipment in? Done, we can say. The desk here is empty, the bookshelf is empty, but we find a room to the west with a locked door. But no matter how high our lock-picking skill is, we can't seem to pick this lock. We can't bash it in, we can't blow it up. It's a magical door that can't be destroyed. The room to the north is empty aside from Zeke's bed. Well, guess we'll have to come back and explore this room a bit later. To continue, we can head northeast down the trail to an exit grid. We find an armed man guarding a shack. Moving forward, I should shoot you dead, but I'm kind of curious about what you could possibly have to say to me. I'm looking for a missing girl, we can say. Seen her? Oh, you mean the one locked up in the back there that we've been having fun with, he says? No, haven't seen her. Hand over the girl, we can say, and we can all leave here alive. Why in the hell would I do that, he says? Because I'm the worst thing that you could ever fear happening to you, we can say. Hand her over, or feel the pain. That sounds like a challenge, he says. I'll take it. With that, he turns hostile, as does the thug inside the shack. We can simply kill them to move on, but we can get by them without resorting to violence. To get by this guy, after he says, why in the hell should I do that? We can say, because if we fight, one of us will die. I don't want to die any more than you do, so let's end this peacefully, okay? And if we pass the speech check, he says, yeah, okay. Here's the key to her cell. She's in the back room of the shack. Take her and get out. But don't come back. If I see you again, we'll see who lives and who dies. Thanks, we can say. You did the right thing. Moving inside, the other guard does not attack. Using the key, we can head inside, but the cell door is locked. After picking it, we find Chrissy. If you're here to try and rape me, you're gonna be wearing your balls as a bow tie. Get it, she says? But the chosen one's never heard of a bow tie. Bow tie, we can say? Yeah, she says. It's a fancy piece of cloth worn around the neck for decoration. It's like a scarf, but for men. Now, just imagine me kicking you so hard that you end up wearing your dangly about your neck. Get it? I get the picture, we can say. Please don't hurt me. Okay, she says. So why are you here? And the chosen one can say, I'd like to know who you are and what's going on here. In a nutshell, she says, my name is Chrissy, and I'm from the squat. I was out exploring last week when I found that entrance out there. I thought it might be an abandoned mine or something, so I decided to check it out. Well, it's not a mine. It's a secret entrance to Vault 15. The vault is being used as a base for a band of raiders called the Khans. They caught me snooping around and their leader, Darian, had me locked up in here. The people of the squad are protecting these guys by helping them keep the vault a secret, but they don't know what's really going on here. Darian told us that the vault was being repaired so we could have a safe place to live with lots of food and water, but it's all a lie. I've been in there and looked around. The vault is dead, and the food and water machines don't work. Our food and water's been coming from the spoils of raids against caravans. Look, I've got to get home and warn everyone about what's really going on here. We can't help these monsters. Will you take me home? All right, we can say. I'll take you home. Really, she says? Awesome. Let's go. And with that, she hightails it out of there. There's nothing in this little shack, save for some dirty bedding on the ground. We can unlock a back door, but there's nothing back here. But if we move south... So you've returned, says the raider. Let's see who comes out on top. And true to his word, he and the other raider inside attack. But they're not that difficult. We make short work of them. After looting a stim pack and some money on one, some shotgun shells and a sniper rifle off the other, we see that door that Chrissy was talking about in some rocks to the north. But we can't interact with it, we can't unlock it, it is effectively jammed. So instead we can follow Chrissy down the trail, and this puts us out at the world map exit grid for some reason. Moving north, the guy lying down hops up. Damn, he says, I hate it when that happens. Hello, and goodbye. All right, poor guy's suffering from random loss of limbs. Heading into the big tent, we can check in with Chrissy. My knight in shining armor returns, she says. Well, it would shine if you'd clean it every once in a while. Oh, and you might want to consider bathing yourself as well. So what can I do for you? Just thought I'd say hello, Chrissy. I'll be going now, we can say. Hey, she says, I know I have a smart mouth, but I want you to know that I'm very grateful for you saving my butt. Thanks very much. You're welcome, we can say. Then, talking to her mom, you saved my daughter, she says. I can never repay you for your kindness. Thank you. Please wait here. I need to talk with Chrissy, and then I'd like to talk with you. Okay, we can say. She comes back a moment later. My daughter has told me everything, she says. I find it hard to believe that Darian is such a monster after all he's been doing for us. And to think we've been helping him hide his operations as a raider. I can guarantee you we won't stand for it any longer. I've already talked to Zeke, and he wants to see you. You should go see him now. Thank you, we can say. Moving north, we can head into Zekes Shack. Talking with him. Rebecca has told me what you did for her, he says. I want to apologize for the treatment you received here. You certainly didn't deserve it. What can I help you with? Well, I've got some questions for you, we can say. Sure, what do you want to know? Do you work for Darian, we can say? Yes, I do, says Zeke. I act as the middleman between him and the people up here. I'm not very happy about the fact, now that I know what he's up to. Well, what do you intend to do about the raiders, we can say? Nothing, he says. They have guns, they control the water, and they control the food. That means they are in charge. Period. We have no skills and no means of support without the backing of Darian. How can we turn against him? We're at his mercy. Would you consider making a deal with the NCR, we can ask? Well, that all depends, says Zeke. What did you have in mind? And the chosen one, ever the politician, says, join the NCR, let them annex your territory, and give them access to the vault. In return, they can teach you all the skills you need to survive on your own, and offer you their protection. Not bad, says Zeke. I like it. You've got yourself a deal if you can get the NCR to agree to it as well. But look, someone has to take care of Darian and his cronies. It should be done now before they realize what has happened and have time to prepare for an attack. Why not get this over with and take Darian out now? You'll have the element of surprise on your side. Yeah, says the chosen one. I guess it has to be done. Excellent, says Zeke. Good luck to you, and thank you. Okay, says the chosen one. By the way, where is this vault entrance? It's behind that door over there, but it's locked from the other side and trapped too. I don't have any means of opening it. Oh, wait a minute. I found this key card some time ago, and I have no idea what it's for. Rebecca says that you found some sort of door where they were holding Chrissy. Maybe this card will open it. Here, take it. Thanks, we can say. I'll give it a try. By the way, is there anything else going on around here? And he says, just the problems with the NCR, but I think that deal you offered will solve that. I guess that's it. I'll be going now, says the chosen one. So, there's an entrance to Vault 15 on the other side of this locked door. Well, the key card won't do us any good here, but it may help us to open the door that we saw by following the path to the northeast. Heading to the door, we can use the red key card Zeke gave us to open it. We find an elevator, and from here, we can take it to level 1. We arrive in a cave. And here, if we hadn't killed the raiders above ground, they would have appeared and attacked us. But with them dead, there's no one to warn the raiders down here of our intentions. And so moving forward, we can talk to the understandably perplexed raiders standing around. They're talking to each other. I think we should just waste everyone upstairs and say hell to this place, says one. Hey, we never get a break around here. Isn't there some law or something? Says the other. Yeah, not amongst raiders, buddy. What the? I don't think I know you. Who the hell are you? Says the raider. If we say, I got my ID right here, let me show ya. They turn hostile. So instead we can bluff our way out of this. The name's, Pat. And I'm new here. Oh yeah, she says. Sorry, didn't recognize you at first. Go on about your business. And with that, we can explore Vault 15 unmolested. But if we talk to any of the other raiders, we have to pass the same speech check. So from here on out, we'll leave them alone. We see a pathway to the south, and here we find a ladder. Looks like this ladder comes up behind that locked door in Zeke's house. But no, it doesn't actually. We appear at the southern exit to world map grid for some reason, and the door in Zeke's house is still locked. So we gotta go all the way back and down the elevator to pick up where we left off. We see that the door to Vault 15 has been blasted open. We see a caravan over here. I'm not sure how they got this all the way down here using that teeny tiny elevator. At any rate, with the door broken, we can head into Vault 15. We see a bank of monitors on the wall. This terminal monitors the force field generators. It indicates that the unit is offline due to power failure, and we can't do anything with it. Continuing forward, we see that all the computers on this level are deactivated. Passing a raider who says, "Hey, anyone remember what was in a Long Island iced tea?" We can move into the Vault 15 clinic. Here we find a doctor. "Hello," he says, "I'm Doc Jones. You can call me Doc. What can I help you with?" "Oh, well, I'm injured. Can you help me?" "Why, certainly," says Doc Jones. "Here, we'll give you a shot of this. This'll sting a bit. Now a bandage. And there, you're all set." "Thanks, Doc Jones, but do you work for Darien?" "Well, yes and no," he says. "It's not by choice. I'm a prisoner here. Darien is getting up there in years, and he needs a dedicated physician to look after him. The cons keep me here for his needs. I'd rather be here for the people in the town above. They have no medical help at all, and there's a lot I can do to aid them." "That's very commendable of you," we can say. "Can you leave here if you want?" And he says, "No, I'm pretty much trapped here. I can't even leave to refill my medical supplies. Darien sends out for anything I need." "I'm sorry to hear that," we can say. "What can you tell me about Darien?" "Darien is a mental case, plain and simple," he says. "He's got more spooks in his head than a dog has fleas. As far as I can figure it, he was a member of another gang called the Cons. They kidnapped this girl, Tandy, and held her for ransom. Her father didn't take kindly to that and hired some merc to get her back. Darien was the only one to come out alive. Now he's paranoid. He believes that Tandy is out to get him. He's obsessed with revenge, and he wants Tandy dead. He's riddled with guilt because he hid and lived rather than dying with his gang, and the list goes on and on." So Darien was a member of the Cons Raider gang that the Vault Dweller destroyed when rescuing Tandy, and he's the only survivor. "How'd you come to be here in the first place?" we can say. "I was kidnapped," he says. "I was traveling from Vault City to New Reno for a well-deserved vacation. Went to bed one night and woke up bound and gagged the next morning. A week or so later, I was here. Been here ever since." "So you mentioned Darien has a dog?" "Yeah," he says, "he's got a dog. Personally, I think it's the meanest, most vile creature on the face of the earth. It seems to love Darien, though, so I guess it can't be all that bad." "Thanks for the information," we can say. "I'll be heading out now." "Okay, well, you take care," he says, "and come back if you need anything." Oh, he's a really nice doctor. Surprised he would speak so freely about his hatred towards Darien to a presumed raider. I guess that's what he's supposed to think we are. Moving west, we find an elevator, and we can take it to floor 2. We arrive in the middle of the second floor, and we see raiders all around us. I like guns. Yeah, guns. I like guns. I really, really like them. But they're not hostile, so we can explore freely. But there's not much here. We see raiders in each of these vault cells, which must act as their rooms, but we don't find any containers to explore. On the western side of the second floor, we find a room being guarded by a raider. Inside, we find a computer. This terminal monitors the power generator. It indicates that the unit is offline due to a malfunction of some sort. Well, I think we can fix that. We see the generators nearby, and we can use our repair skill, but we can't seem to find anything wrong. It just doesn't work. So instead, we can use our science skill. There must have been a short in the system at some time. The emergency circuit breakers kicked in, but fused in the open position. You may be able to free them up to restore power. Okay, well, maybe the repair skill was the way to go. We just had to diagnose the problem first with our science skill. Using the repair skill again, bingo, that did it. We managed to break the contacts loose and restore power, and we earn 3,000 experience. With power restored, we can access the nearby terminal. This terminal monitors the power generator. It indicates that everything is functioning normally. With power restored, that means we might be able to find a terminal that can give us directions to Vault 13. But first, we can access the row of rooms to the north. In the first one, we find a desk, and inside, we find a pistol with some ammo, a cat's paw, a lock-picking kit, and a scout's guide. We find a footlocker on the ground to the left of the bed, and inside, we find another pistol and a full suit of combat armor. We'll snag this. I'm gonna have to get some of those dermal implants at some point. We see a locker on the wall by the bathroom. Inside, we find 4 stim packs. Moving into room number 2, we see that it's empty, as is room number 3 and room number 4. With floor 2 explored, we can head back to the elevator and take it to floor number 3. We arrive at the end of a long hallway. Moving down the hallway, we can start by exploring the rooms to the left. The first room to the left leads to some sort of library. We see a number of terminals, but none appear to be working until we find a small little alcove in this room with one flickering terminal. The terminal indicates that the security force field at the vault entrance has been activated now that power has been restored. From here, we find an option to turn the force field off. You give the command to deactivate the force field. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. Heading out, we can move west where we find another room. Here we find one functioning terminal. You access the computer and quickly scan all available files. You find the location of Vault 13 and copy it to your Pip-Boy. At last, we've done it! And we didn't have to follow a bunch of talking Deathclaws, and we didn't have to spend 10,000 bucks. We finally and permanently have the location of Vault 13. But before we head that way, let's finish things up here in Vault 15. Moving east, we can open a door to a locker room. In one locker, we find a super stim pack and some Vault 15 computer parts. These must be the computer parts that President Tandy and the NCR were trying to get their hands on. We can do them a favor and snag these and bring them back to them. In the next locker, we find a 10mm SMG with some ammunition. Moving to the northern room, we see a couple of raiders milling about. There's tables and a flickering monitor, but nothing else in this room. Heading back to the hallway, we can follow it east. Opening the door, we see a number of raiders inside. There's a bathroom to the north, but it's empty. And as we move forward, we're stopped. So here you are at last. The savior of the downtrodden, the righter of wrongs, the icon of hope for humanity. What a dumbass! Well, before you start any boring speeches, I'd just like to say that I'm not really interested. Let's just cut to the chase and get this over with. Bad dog, kill! And with that, Darian blasts us with a flamer. Ouch! He, the raiders, and his pet dog, Bad Dog, attack! But Sulik, Cassidy, Skynet, and the Chosen One have been itching for this kind of confrontation after spending so long at NCR without even being able to take our guns out. We make short work of them. Oh, looks like this guy's running. Come back here. You can't hide in the corner. There we go. With the raiders dead, we can explore this area. We don't find much until we examine a lone functional terminal in this room. You access the computer and quickly scan all available files. Among some personal journal entries, you find several detailed reports on the NCR. It appears there is a spy on their council. You copy the reports to a holodisk. Examining the NCR spy holodisk in our inventory, we can download the data to our Pip-Boy. Reading it, New California Republic Information Disk 5. This disk seems to be filled with reports about NCR. Monthly production totals, caravan schedules, security rosters, minutes of congressional hearings, secret council reports, diplomatic correspondence from New Reno, Redding, and Vault City, and several weeks' worth of President Tandy's appointment schedule. There's nothing here about Vault 13 or a Gek, though. All the reports are addressed to Darian and are signed F. F? Who on the NCR Council's name is F? And then we remember Fergus. Is Fergus the Raider spy? After looting the Raider bodies, we can head out, only to discover that we've angered all the Raiders in Vault 15. We, just like our ancestor, now have to wipe out the Khans. What a setback for the Khans. No wonder they moved west towards Nevada. We could skip floor 2, but heck, we're here, might as well get the experience. And heading to floor 1, we can clear them out. But after the Raiders are dead, we can talk with Doc Jones, and he appears to not be aware of the fact that he's now free. Guess he'll just stay here to help the people of the squad. On our way out, we can check in with that force field terminal. Now that the power's working, we can turn the force field on and off. Cool. Heading out, we can go up the ladder, and we again appear at the exit grid. Moving north into town, people are much friendlier. Thank you for all that you've done. I apologize for the cold shoulder earlier. Thanks for helping out Rebecca. It's a wonderful thing for you to do for a stranger. Heading into the shack to talk with Zeke. You've done it, friend, he says. We are no longer under Darian's yoke. Thank you. I'm ready to accept your deal with the NCR now. Just have them send one of their reps by, and I'll seal the deal. The door is now unlocked, and we can open it, but it's blocked in with boxes, and we can't move forward. Now we recall that we can't tell Skynet to put his weapons away, so I decided to leave him here at Vault 15 before heading on over to NCR, since I'll be coming back here anyway. Moving to NCR, we can head to the council hall. Just out front, we see Fergus. Welcome to Congress House, he says. How can I help you? We find a new option here to say, tell her I solved her squatter problem. You did, he says. Well, I'm sure that's wonderful news. Did you learn anything else? We can say, yeah, there is something else. Something about a spy. Oh, that doesn't sound good, says Fergus. Now, excuse me, I have work to do. And he walks off. Or, instead of tipping off Fergus, we can head inside to talk to Gunter. Here to report the outcome of Vault 15, he says. Yes, we can say. Excellent. I'll buzz you right in, he says. Moving in to talk with President Tandy.
Back, are you, stranger? So the job's done? Do we have access to the vault?
I've handled this already. The squatters want a deal. You help them become self-sufficient, and they'll give you the vault. Also, here are the parts.
So they finally got reasonable. I can bull the Congress into sending supplies and techs. You sure we can get into the vault?
Quite sure. There were some lowlifes there, but I kicked their ass.
I've always believed in fair pay for fair work. My assistant will square things up.
I'm afraid you have another problem. If you'll look at this holodisk, you'll see that you have a spy in the NCR.
Damn. The only person who knew all this was Fergus. I'm not suggesting anything, but maybe Gunther should know about this.
I'll talk to him. Bye. Heading over to Gunter. Let's see, he says. Contract says 500. Here you go. And we can say, your president said that you should know there's a spy in your house. Somebody named Fergus. Fergus, he says? I don't believe it. Take a look at this disc, we can say. Damn, he says. Looks solid. Look, we'll take care of this. Here's $4,000 for the info. Thanks, we can say. Have a nice day. With that, Fergus hightails it out of there. That doesn't sound good, he says as he walks away. Now excuse me, I have work to do. And that's all that becomes of Fergus. As far as we know, looks like NCR never get their hands on him. Now, here's where something weird happened. I headed back to Vault 15 to pick up Skynet, only to discover that Vault 15 had changed. There were crops outside and a Brahmin pasture. NCR had even dug a well in the center of town. True to their word, they made the squat a habitable town. Despite this, for some reason, when we head in to talk to Zeke, he says, now that Darian's gone, we don't have any way to get food. We will surely perish. Thanks a lot. Which is an absolutely bizarre response, seeing as how he has crops and Brahmin in the squat. Moving into the room to the west, we see that the boxes are now gone, and here we find a ladder leading down to Vault 15. Finally, we can access this entry point. But Skynet is missing. You saw me leave him right here by the parked car, but he's nowhere to be found. This is kind of a glitch. By completing the quest, the squat completely changes. In order to do this, the developers had to create a completely different cell that contained the well, the Brahmin pasture, and the crops. This new cell overwrites the previous cell that was the squat. But we told Skynet to wait in the previous cell, which we can no longer access. He's gone forever. So I had to reload a previous save to before I completed this quest and head back to Vault 15. Sure enough, we find him waiting right where we left him. I can then put him someplace safe, like New Reno, complete the quest, then head back to Vault 15. So just bear in mind, if you're about to complete this quest, don't have anyone wait at the squat of Vault 15. With that, we've solved the situation with the NCR, given the people of the squat a new ally, food, and survival training, and we discovered the location of Vault 13. There is nothing left in our way, no more side quests. We now have one task: head to Vault 13. We'll pick up the trail inside Vault 13 in my next episode. I publish new Fallout videos each and every week, so if you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have and you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter at Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every new piece of content that I publish. I've got a brand new shirt in the shop. I've been to Project Purity. Confound your friends and family who recognize the Jefferson Memorial but have no idea what Project Purity is. This design comes on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes and in a wide array of colors. You can find it on other products as well, like smartphone cases, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. Patrons gain access to private Discord channels on my Discord server, and YouTube members gain access to membership badges and ox emojis that they can use during the chats of my live streams. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with more brand new videos.